Namaste. Thanks for listening to me. Today I want to talk about this is a topic I've slightly talked about before, but I would like to talk about again. And this is this idiotic myth that just won't die, that you need to meditate for an hour or it's not working. And it's really stupid and really idiotic. It's like telling people you need to spend 2 hours, 1 hour at the gym or 2 hours at the gym or you won't lose weight. And the reason I'm having this rant is because I was on a spiritual forum and somebody mentioned how they had started a spiritual practice around 10 minutes a day and they had been able to stick with it for a week or two. And that's a very impressive thing because most people will not ever start practice. If they started, they won't stick with it. And most of the comments were positive. Then you were that one twat, who came in the forum and said, "Oh, only 10 minutes? That's not good enough. You need to meditate for an hour or it doesn't work." And yeah, again, really pissed me off. I downvoted him. This myth is so harmful and it's clearly stupid and untrue, as anybody who's meditated can tell you. It's completely untrue, and not just in meditation, in any field. I read this great book, I think it's called the Kaizen Way. Kaizen is a Japanese word which means small improvements. I think the English equivalent of it, there are other books there in English. I think there's one called the 1% better every day or something like that. You must have heard of this philosophy that you get 1% better every day. And because of compound interest, that means after a year you'll be, I don't know what 100 times or 1,000 times better. But you do small improvements each day. And in the Kaizen Way, this guy, he gives the example of a woman who was severely overweight, and she couldn't exercise because she had no time. She had 2 children and she was a single mother. And she was working like 10, 12 hours a day, and then she had to go home and cook for her children. And she was overweight and the doctor was shaming her. He said, "Why don't you exercise? Why don't you exercise?" And this woman was getting, frustrated and starting to cry because she literally couldn't exercise. She had no time, and she had these little kids. And this guy, the Kaizen Way author, he said, "Okay, let me try something. Can you, for just 2 minutes a day, when you're watching TV, can you just march on the same spot?" And the doctor, was like, "Oh, that won't work. 2 minutes a day is not enough." He was like, most of the idiots in the spiritual community, or the idiots in every community. Yeah. But this author, he said, no, just try it. And the woman said, okay, I can do that. All she had to do was in front of the TV, march for 2 minutes. She just march in place. And she did that. She did it every day. She did it again for days, weeks. After a few weeks, she started enjoying it. And she turned the marching into a small jog in the same place. After a few months, she was doing full exercise for like half an hour a day, every day. Because she built up the habit, she built up the muscle. She built up, her body, her subconscious started supporting her instead of fighting her. It took a few weeks or months. But this woman lost weight. She started loving exercise. She started doing exercise every day after she got home. She would take, feed her children, give them something to play, and then she would quickly just put something on the DVD and exercise. She got an exercise DVD. She just followed that every day. But she started with 2 minutes, just by marching in place for 2 minutes. And this led to, her losing weight and improving her diabetes, which was what she had originally seen the doctor for. But if she had been following the original advice was you need to exercise for 1 hour a day. And, the medical community was shaming her. She wouldn't have gotten anywhere. This is a key thing in self-help. You have to start small. And consistency is more important than, doing it for 1 hour, 2 hour a day. It's like telling people if you don't exercise for 2 hours a day, it won't work. That's stupid advice, right? It's the exact same for meditation. You start with 2 minutes a day. And 2 minutes a day is more than enough. I can tell you from personal experience. I had great spiritual, experiences and internal growth with just 2 minutes a day. And I did 2 minutes a day for like 6 months or a year. But I did it consistently. And I started increasing it slowly. So I would do 2 minutes in the morning, then 2 minutes in the lunch, 2 minutes when I got home, then slowly to 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And I only did it when I was enjoying it. I didn't force myself to do it. And this whole macho thing, oh, meditate harder. I've said this before: work hard, play hard, meditate hard. It doesn't work that way. Meditating for an hour is not more efficient than meditating for 2 minutes a day. That's a classic ego hijacking the process. Instead of boasting about how you're the best, you're the sexiest man, or you're the richest man, now you're the most spiritual man. Yeah, you losers, you will meditate for 10 minutes, I do it for an hour. I'm the best. I'm the toughest meditator out there. Yeah. You see how dangerous that is? Ego has turned it into a game about who can meditate the longest. If you think that if the goal of meditation for you is just to, learn how to control the mind, or learn how to, yeah, control is the right word, manipulate and control the mind, become a great mind controller, then yeah, you're right. I'll agree with you. Meditating for 10 hours a day or 2 hours a day is perfect, because the more you do it, the more control over you get over your mind. And I think that's what most people mean. They're trying to control their mind. And if that's what you want, power to you, man. Where's my thumbs up? Power to you, man. You'll get what you want. But don't pretend it is spiritual. It's nothing to do with spirituality. It's not a. If your goal of meditating is to, find your true self, your inner self, find the joy of your existence, joy of being, then meditation is just a small tool in it. Just a small tool on the path. It's not even the best tool. Compassion and forgiveness are the best tool. Or at least they're better than meditation, sitting meditation. And that's why meditating longer doesn't work, because you're not learning how to control the mind. You're trying to find out your inner self, you're trying to do multiple things at the same time. First, you're trying to find out how you are blocking the light of your own higher self from shining through you, your divine consciousness, because we do things like we are full of mental thinking and full of health, self-hate and self-loathing, and these thought patterns block the divine light from flowing through us. So when you're doing meditation or you're doing any sort of self-inquiry, you're trying to find out what's stopping you from reflecting the light of the divine. And you're trying to understand your own mind. You're trying to master your own mind. You're not trying to learn juggling or something. So if you're trying to just become a mind control master, which is a skill like learning how to juggle or something, that's fine. But meditate for 10 hours a day. But if you're trying to find your inner self, your true self, then meditating longer will not help you, because meditation is just a small part. There's a big circle. You have a circle like this big. Meditation is like small, tiny part of that. A bigger part is learning how to practice what you learn in meditation in the real world, in the outer world. Sure, you can feel peaceful when you're sitting there chanting Om, but can you carry that peace to the outer world? Can you carry the love and compassion you practice to the outer world? Can you carry, all the joy and the wisdom you learn in meditation to the outer world? You can read in the Gita, oh, I am the spirit, I am the all, I am everything. You can read the Buddha and you can say, oh, the world is void, there's nothing there. But, if somebody insults you on the street, or your boss says something nasty to you, can you carry your meditation then? Can you be aware at that point? Can you practice loving compassion at that point? That is the goal of living the spiritual life. That is the goal of the whole path. And just meditating for 2 hours doesn't help you. If you go outside and somebody cuts you on the street and you're like, "Argh." And people who boast about meditating for 2 hours, it's clear that they're meditating from their ego. The ego has taken over the process, so they're not learning anything. They're not making any growth. So 2 minutes a day is all you need, and you follow the 1% rule. You get better 1% every day. And over time, you might, for me, sometimes I sit for 2 hours, sometimes I sit for 2 minutes. Usually it's more like 5 or 10 minutes, half an hour. But I only sit while I'm enjoying it. If I don't enjoy it, I get up. Why hate myself? Why force myself to do something I hate? Meditation must be something, it is for me, something, a joy, something I look forward to, not something that's a punishment like going to the gym. For most people, going to the gym is a punishment. They shame themselves, and they say, I have to go to the gym to lose weight, and they'll go for 6 months, and then they'll hate themselves, and then they'll quit. It's a sad thing. Don't turn meditation to something like something you must do, like eating greens, or eating an avocado a day, or going to the gym for 10 minutes or half an hour a day. Meditation is something you enjoy. Start small, try to increase it. It doesn't matter, the time doesn't matter at all. Start for at least 2 minutes. If you're enjoying it, sit longer. If you're not enjoying it, get your ass off and do something better. But the key thing is that the time you sit doesn't matter. It's how you're living life that matters. How can you take what you're learning in meditation? Meditation is teaching you how your mind works, right? You're learning that on the cushion or on the seat or chair, wherever you're sitting. Can you take what you learn into the outer world? Can you live a life of happiness and joy? Can you practice compassion when you're with very negative and hateful people? Can you practice centering and awareness when somebody's insulting you, or when you're stuck in traffic for like half an hour and you're very irritated? Can you practice centering yourself then? That's a bigger thing. So in a way, meditation is not something you do on the couch. It's something you do the whole day. It's something you do for 24 hours, or however long you're awake, 8 hours, 10 hours, your awake time. You're doing meditation the whole time. And sitting part of it is just a very small part of it. Like I said, if it's like a big circle, the sitting meditation is just a tiny part of that. And people get so obsessed with that shitty little part, they forget the whole big picture. The big picture is not to become better meditators. It's not to get a PhD in meditation. It's not to become mind control masters, It's learning how to live a happy and joyful life, a peaceful life. A life with no frustrations, no anger, no irritation, or as little as possible, anger and irritation as possible. A life which flows and which, you can live a smooth life, or Aurobindo called it a divine life. That's its goal. And the 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 1 hour you sit on the cushion is just a very small part of that. Your whole life is a meditation. So don't get too focused on sitting and chanting Om Shanti Shanti. That's just a very small part. So yeah, start with 2 minutes a day. If you're enjoying it, make it 5, make it 10, half an hour, 1 hour, only if you're enjoying it. The key thing is consistency. Aim for at least 2 minutes a day, no matter what happens. Even if there's a nuclear strike going on, or okay, maybe not a nuclear strike, but whatever else is going on, you can find 2 minutes before going to bed, or on your lunch break, or when you get up. Everybody can find 2 minutes. Just to do it for 2 minutes daily, consistently, and you'll start seeing effects. And then you can, if you want, you can increase the time, or you can try to take that awareness outside the cushion. Try to be aware when you're driving to work, when you're walking to work, when you're sitting in a boring meeting. Try to keep that awareness, so that your meditation, your whole life becomes a meditation. It's something you do for 8-10 hours a day, not something just you're doing when you're sitting on the couch. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for listening to me. Namaste. I'm grateful.